todos momentos en la clínica. Así que su estatus, su raza, cualquier información que se use, que se pueda identificar sea usted como paciente, nunca se asocia con sus datos personales. Así que puede tener la certeza que nosotros en la clínica comunitaria de Lynn y en todas las clínicas y hospitales y lugares donde proporcionan atención médica, su información es de suma importancia y se mantiene confidencial.
Okay. Muchas gracias por esa información y por la confirmación que sí todos van a estar salvo y que su información se va a quedar privada. A la misma vez también le quiero decir que después de este video va a haber un par de links que uno puede chequear la información del Lynn Public Health Center y también los servicios que damos aquí en LIO que le podemos ayudar también. A la misma vez, muchas gracias, doctora Cruz, por tener el tiempo de hablarnos y clarificar una de esas preguntas que nosotros tenemos en la comunidad y normalmente con todo lo que pasa, que está pasando ahora. So, muchas gracias por coger el tiempo para decirnos.
Gracias a usted por su invitación. Gracias.
Tenga un buen día. El tema de discusión tocará temas en los que usted o un miembro del hogar es un trabajador esencial. Más del 52% de los trabajadores de Lynn tienen trabajos esenciales. La capacidad de quedarse en casa durante la pandemia no es disponible para muchos trabajadores de bajos ingresos y trabajadores de color que tienden a tener menos seguridad laboral y beneficios de salud. ¿Cómo se puede reducir el riesgo de contratar COVID-19 si usted o sus amigos o familiares o
Hi, Jim.
How are you, Richard?
Good, thank you. Yes, yes. We're just gonna wait a minute or two for Mary. I think she's gonna be right on. I apologize for the delay, but it's a Zoom. We had to leave City Hall and get home. Not sure if that's her number showing up down the bottom there. It's a City Hall number. Anyone know if Mrs. Curley or Mr. Gisono are going to make it tonight?
No, I've not heard.
Son, can you hear me? I'm calling Mary now.
Thank God I see Rick.
Oh, There's Jean.
Zoom. Thank you, honey, so much. Thank you. Bye-bye. I absolutely hate this. You have no idea how I hate this. Hi, Terry.
How you doing, Jean?
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Are you happy today? You look sad.
No, I'm good. I just got off the phone with Mary, and she's going to be joining us in any moment. And once we have Mary, we'll get started. I apologize for the delay, everyone. It's a little bit late, but shouldn't be a long meeting tonight.
What?
It shouldn't be a long meeting tonight.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That one case isn't going to be heard, right?
I think we're only going to hear, well, two.
Two aren't going to be heard?
We're going to, Herschel Street's reappearing, and then 321 Essex we're going to hear. And Jean, on Herschel Street, since you chaired that last week, would you mind stepping in for that one?
We're not going to hear Herschel Street?
We are going to.
Huh?
I'm just asking if you'll take the chair on that, since you chaired it last meeting.
You go in and out on my iPad. I don't know what you said.
I'm saying that would you chair the Herschel Street case, since you chaired it last meeting?
Oh, okay.
When that comes up, I'll turn it over to you.
All right.
Just waiting for Mary. She said she'd be right on.
So we have that, and we're not going to do Linwood Road, right?
I believe we're going to table that, correct, along with Circle Avenue.
What happened? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. We're just waiting for Mary Jokers.
All of a sudden, my screen went blank, and I thought I lost everybody.
There's son.
Hi, son. Nice background. Come on, Mary.
There's Mary.
Okay, let's get started. Welcome, everyone, to our March 16, 2021 Lynn Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Mary, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Give me 1 sec. Mrs. Crowitz?
Present.
Mr. Wooten?
Present.
Mr. McElroy?
Present.
Mr. Smith?
Present.
Mr. Gisono? Absent.
Yes.
Mrs. Curley?
Present.
Mr. Kalnin?
Present.
And Mr. Wood?
Present. Okay, great.
Perfect.
We have a quorum. Regarding the minutes of the February 16th meeting, has everyone read them? Does anyone have any corrections or
Motion to accept is read.
does anyone have anything they want to add before we go ahead to approve them? All right, hearing none, we have a motion from Mr. Callahan to accept the minutes of February 16th. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is that aye, everyone? Okay.
Aye, yes.
Hearing none opposed, I'll say yes, we have approved the minutes of February 16th meeting. And so we'll go to our first order of business. The 314 Broadway, case number 9947. I believe, Attorney Lamanna, we're going to continue this again.
Motion to continue.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Callahan. Let's hear from Mr. Lamanna.
I do have some good news to report. This evening, the City Council voted to transfer to our office sufficient monies to engage an appraiser. So I'm hopeful that that appraisal can be done very quickly now that the money's been transferred. And by the April meeting, we'll know what direction to go in order to have this land and have this construction be completed lawfully.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. It'd be great to bring that to a close. It's one of our all-time longest cases at this point, at least in my tenure. So Mr. Callanan has made a motion to continue. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Mrs. Curley. All those, you want to call the roll or just do a voice call? All in favor of continuing?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Hearing none opposed, we're going to continue that to the April 6th meeting. Next order of business is case number 9963, 38-40 Herschel Street. Sitting on this case, this is continued from the February 16th meeting. And let's see, so Mrs. Curley, Mr. Gisono, Mr. Callanan, Ms. Crowitz, and Flory, Mr. Makuo are sitting on this, but since Dan is not here, son, were you here at the last meeting?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so would you sit on this case for Mr. Gisono?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so you, Flory, Terry, Pat, and Jean are on this. And Jean, so will you take over this case since you chaired it last time?
Okay. Case number 9963, to vary pursuant to MGIC 40A S10, the provisions of the City of Lynn Zone Ordinance to permit the demolition of an existing two-car garage to be replaced with a new larger two-car garage with greater square footage for storage and with a second floor in violation of the City of Lynn Zone Ordinance. Is a petitioner here?
Yes, good evening. My name is Matt Langis. I am the designer for the project before you tonight. 38 Madison Street, Amesbury, Mass. For the record. Based on the feedback provided by the board from the last meeting, we had revisited plans and elevations and made significant changes to the roof and the height. The stairs were removed, the entire second floor was eliminated, and the height was decreased by approximately 6 feet. So in the elevations before you tonight, we are showing a revised version. The materials all remain the same. We are showing architectural asphalt shingles, a vinyl double hung windows, clapboard siding, and corner boards in the same white color to match the existing home. So referencing the zoning matrix in the top right corner, the relief that we are seeking for is in reference to the lot coverage. The existing lot coverage is 32.3%, and we are proposing a 5.3% increase, which brings it to a total of 37.6%. It's a fairly short presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are.
Anyone have any questions?
Where is the increased square footage? Is it in the volume or is it in the horizontal plane and the floor plane?
It's in the horizontal plane only, in the floor plan. The existing garage is approximately 20 feet wide by about 19 feet deep. And we are proposing a 24 by 24 garage.
Okay. That's a big increase. That's a 4 feet in each direction, 24.
No, 4 feet in one direction and 5 feet in the other.
Yeah.
It's good for like a two-car garage when they open their doors.
Right. The existing garage now. Correct. Okay. So if you look at these photos, the size of the existing garage doesn't allow for I would say a modern car to park in there. But I think if you had a Fiat, you might be okay. But opening the doors is quite difficult in the size of the garage that it is now. 24 by 24 is sort of a typical two-car garage size that I've done a fair amount of work with in the past, and it's a number that allows the homeowner or the user to be able to comfortably exit their vehicle without hitting the car or an intermediate support in between the two cars.
What's the extension of the roof that's here that's in black? What is that?
So that portion is the homeowner is hoping to maintain the driveway and the property a little bit better. So that is essentially storage for a snow blower and maintenance materials for the driveway, shovels and that of the like.
But that's still in height, right? That's not in width.
No, that is only in width. So if you're looking at the garage floor plan, the height of that gable is not above the 24 by 24 foot garage. It'll sit approximately a foot below it. But the extension really is in the horizontal distance. That's the 6.5 feet that is shown in the garage floor plan.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Any other questions from the board?
Yes, I have a question, Mrs. Chairman. The design that I'm looking at is not what I was expecting. This doesn't look like our regular accessory building. It has a dormer attached to it. And it's not, it doesn't blend well. It looks like a single family design. That's what it looks like. And it's difficult to read the printing on it. I have a big magnifying glass and I still can't read the numbers. It's really not a good design, and I thought he was going to change it. That's what I requested. I can't support this in this design. They got to remove the dormers there, and if it's a garage is an accessory, is considered an accessory building, but this is not what you see typically in an accessory building.
So I just want to confirm the drawings before you tonight are brought down to the maximum underneath the maximum height of 15 feet.
I understand that.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I understand. Wait a minute. I understand that. I can just barely read that 15 feet. That doesn't help the elevation design that I'm looking at right now.
So Pat, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about like taking that whole little dormer section off, just making that like a shed roof?
I'll leave it up to his design. It doesn't suit what the city requires.
Okay.
And I can't support it. So he's got to change it. He's got to change the elevations. He didn't do that. And plus the plans have got to be big enough so you can read them with your glasses. I got to magnify, I can't read the numbers. That's not a proper instrument to be held here for a record.
So this was the original design. It was 2 stories, and we asked him to get rid of the second story, and this is what it is now. So is it there's too many doors? Is there you want less doors? The doors are looking like they're carriage doors. That's what I'm assuming. That's what they're trying to do.
That's correct.
Do we just want garage doors? I'm trying to understand what we're thinking as a group.
I think he's wondering why they need a dormer.
But that's not actually a dormer. That's just what a roof line is.
Right. So I apologize. Go ahead.
Would you call that a dormer?
No. So that is if you're looking at the left elevation, that is just the roof that covers the extension of the storage area, essentially. It is done that way just so a lower pitch gable roof would fall underneath a 4-pitch. So I did this change in roof line essentially to help with rain and snow, drainage a little bit better. So that is not a dormer that you're looking at, is essentially the side angle of the roof shown in the left elevation.
Right. If we don't like something about the roof line, I think we have to be able to articulate exactly what's wrong with it, not just because we don't like it. I think the only way this, in terms of construction, the only way it can work is by doing it this way. So the board needs to really better articulate exactly what is wrong with the roof, in terms of aesthetics.
Were there any complaints from any neighbors on this?
There were, I believe, about 4 or 5 letters of support that were submitted with the previous application. We have not reached out to the neighbors with the revised proportion, but we can do so if the board requests. But because they were in favor of the previous application, we were assuming that they would also be okay with a smaller revised version as well.
And so no one spoke up at the last meeting, February 16th, in opposition?
No.
No, I think if I could just share another comment here, I think he's in variance on the width and length, not so much on the heights or aesthetics.
Right.
He reduced it by a lot, 6 feet down. So I'm not sure exactly the issues here that we're having.
It still looks pretty big.
Well, you can't.
Yes, it does. Too big.
Well, in today you can't build a garage that you can't fit two regular cars right now. If we left in terms of square footage, you can't fit 2 cars in there. It won't work. The 2 doors will be bumping to the walls or bumping into each other's.
Here's the way I kind of look at it is that I understand everybody's point of view that it looks big and it looks like it has a dormer that's coming out to the side. But I look at it like this. If you look at the pictures of the garage, you can see what it looks like now. And I think that whatever they're going to be doing with that new building is going to improve the look of that property. And the height will still be low enough so that it does not interfere with their neighbors.
But it looks too big for the lot to me.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I understand that. And I don't disagree.
Mr. Chairman, what is the rear square footage of the rear lot where this building's going to be located? What is the square footage? You can't exceed 30% of the rear yard. And I don't see where that is mentioned anyplace. The number of square feet in the rear.
It's not going back to the rear. It's actually going forward to the yard. So it's growing south of that plot plan, not north of the plot plan to the abutters.
Why you can't see the complete layout of the house and the garage?
Well,
you've got to change. As far as I'm concerned, you can talk all night about it. I'm not going to accept the design that I see the elevations.
Do you think that you can take this back and put some elevations on here for us?
I guess I might be misunderstanding it by the term elevation. Do you mean elevation in vertical height?
I think he means by what the elevation looks like. He does not like it looking like a residence. He wants it to look like an auxiliary building.
Yeah, that's correct.
No, an accessory building, not an auxiliary.
I'm sorry. Yes.
An accessory.
Sorry.
It does not look like an accessory building. If he wants to redesign
the committee,
it again, wants to redesign it, we could have another look at it.
Do we want him to get rid of the clear story glass? Do we want it to have a very simple garage door?
Forget the glass. You know what I'm talking about. I've been reading plans all my life. And these are elevations. Wait a minute. Don't interrupt me, please. You've got to change that. It's got to be changed to look more like it blends well with the neighborhood.
I think the doors are handsome looking.
I do too.
They could be, yeah. I got no problem with the doors.
Well, I'm just mentioning
Well,
it because it's been said already.
I mean, what else can you do to the elevations? I mean, there's 3 doors. There's one accessory for the snow blower and the lawnmower and garden supplies. These are the 2 doors for the garage. I'm sorry?
Mr. Chairman, that's just a repetition of story that's been said already. I believe, we've heard all this.
So what are you asking, Mr. Callen?
That we proceed with a vote. If he doesn't want to redesign, we should proceed with a vote.
I'd be happy to revisit a design if there are concerns over certain areas of the elevation. I guess what I would just like to clarify what the current issues are with the revised elevations.
A proper accessory building. One roof, an H-shaped roof, and this is getting too big for the area, way too big.
Well, there's no criticism from any neighbors. What if you made what's the 4-sided roof and you just brought it out a few feet short so you could still have some storage for snow blower and shovels and what have you, and fit 2 cars comfortably? Or maybe you made it. What's the total width now? It's 30?
It's 24 plus the 6.5 feet, so I believe it's 30.5 feet total. Correct.
So, then what if they made it like 27 or 28 feet? Would that be acceptable with just one roof?
You asking me?
I believe he is.
Yeah. I have to see a new design. I just can't, go by that. What could happen? I got to see on a plan that if we accept it, it goes on file. Can't accept this for the file.
Mr. Chairman, that is one roof system already. So it's not a 2 roof. It shares a roof.
But I think he feels it looks like a residence and not an accessory building, the way that roof is done.
Well, will it help the property if it looks nicer than a garage? I mean, it's a nice looking garage. It looks like a carriage house.
It does.
But I mean, is that bad?
I personally don't think it would be a bad thing. I mean, the thing that's causing the look of the building to do that is the storage. So if we don't allow them to do the storage on the side, they could just get a shed, and that could look like anything. It doesn't even need to go before us. At least this is a nice looking, attractive building that adds to the value of the neighborhood.
Mr. Wooten, did you have any letters of approval at all?
I think we read it last time. I can look in the folder. Hold on a second.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question to the architect?
Right ahead.
Is it possible to extend the slope from the garage to the storage space? I don't know if you meet the slope ratio, but is that possible?
That would be possible to essentially create, I think, almost like a lean-to on that side. So I think what you're asking is to almost extend that gable roof in the same direction. Yeah. So from the front, it would almost be perceived that there was no additional roof. Yes, absolutely, that could be done. It would be altered to be a different pitch, but if that is something that is much more, it would be in a better favor for the entire board, I'd be happy to revisit it and take a look at it.
If we could take a swing of that, I think we could table this for the next meeting.
We don't table, we continue.
We can continue.
So which direction is the slope now? Is the slope going this direction?
To the west.
As a lean-to like this?
It would lean to over the storage area, yeah.
Exactly, lean towards the left. Yep. that direction.
Okay, so then this will be lower. So the pitch of this would look something like down here.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
And this is all gone?
Yes.
Yep.
I think that would make you happier, Pat.
And me.
Can you see the red line that Sun put on that picture?
No, I want to see a redesign. We're wasting time here. There are other cases we have to hear.
Okay.
Yeah, but Pat, we're just trying to get you an understanding of what the architect should do going forward to please you on this.
Yeah.
He's drawing a line that would, so he can have some idea of a new roof line. Does that roof line seem pleasing to you? Can you see that what he's drawn there?
I'm not going to comment on it. I want to see it on a plan.
I would say that looks like a good path forward with this project.
I think so. I think you're right, Rick.
I don't think this will be resolved unless he tackles that.
Okay. You think, Gene, you think that's okay going forward with that type of roof line instead of the other more dormer style?
I don't know if Pat's going to like that. I can't answer for him. I'm sorry.
No,
If the gentleman wants to take another stab at it, I'm all for that.
all right.
I'd be happy to revisit it. If the concern is that it is showing too much roof, I'd be happy to visit a shed option. I think that'll decrease some of the volume that is perceived from the front elevation. I would like to see if there are any other concerns. I'd be happy to make that shed roof addition as small as possible in order to hopefully have a favorable vote for the following meeting.
Just
Mr. Chairman, why don't we proceed? We can't talk all night on this one case.
Well, Pat, the gentleman is just trying to please you. That's all.
You don't have to please me. I'm thinking of the entire city of Lynn in this case.
We're not going to get through this unless you're happy.
All I want to do is look at a new design.
Is that okay with you, sir?
I'd be happy to revisit, yes.
All right. What is the wish of the board?
Will it be continued till next regular meeting for a redesign?
That would be April 6th.
If I may ask a question, is there a possible preliminary review that can be submitted before the following meeting to determine if that proposed design is in the correct direction of the feedback from the board?
Well, I think if you can get that design to the board, to each of us, and we can take a look at it, you'll get some feedback.
Okay.
Make sure there's four elevations.
Did you hear him, sir?
Yes, 4 elevations of the updated design?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. Motion made by Mr. Callen to continue, seconded by, my God, Mary, I can't even think your last name.
Krawitz.
Harwitz, thank you.
Like Mrs. Kravitz, only you were with a W.
Okay. It'll be continued to the next meeting, April 6th.
Thank you for your time, everyone.
Okay, thank you. All right. We're going to call that, right?
Roll call. Mr. Wooten to continue to April 6th.
Yes, to continue.
Mrs. Krawitz to continue to April 6th.
Yes, to continue.
Mr. Makawa to continue to April 6th.
Yes, to continue.
Mrs. Curley
Yes.
and Mr. Callen.
Yes, to continue.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you, Gene.
Thank you.
So our next order of business is case number 9965, 0 Circle Avenue. petitioner is Perry Linway LLC, and presented by attorney James Moore, and the case is to vary the provisions of the City of Lynn zone ordinance to allow the existing 2,520 square foot building and 4.5 acres of land to be used as a workspace for the staging of unregistered motor vans and similar type vehicles to be put into active delivery pending orders by its customers, and to allow 4.5 acres of the existing 10,383 acres acre lot. I'm not sure, it's not 10,383 acres, but to allow 4.5 acres to be used for the parking of such vehicles. Attorney Moore, do you want to present to us?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's a letter I sent to you earlier today. I believe your clerk has it. Let me read it if I could. Ladies and gentlemen, after a review of the letter sent to the board by Council President Darren Sear, I would respectfully request on behalf of the petitioner and with the consent of the Council President that the board postpone the case until its next regular meeting. The petitioner has a meeting scheduled with the City Council President on Tuesday, March 23rd, to discuss and consider all conditions and stipulation that the President has in mind. The postponement will allow the petitioner an opportunity to present and discuss those conditions at the next regular meeting of the board during the public hearing.
All right.
I think the chairman motion to continue to the next regular meeting.
All right. Thank you, Attorney Moore. And so we have a motion to continue for Mr. Callen. Do I have a second on that?
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
there is a letter from Councilor Sear.
Yes, there's a couple letters. There's one from Jim Cowdell, and there's one from Councilor Sear, Council President Sear. I think, you know, it would be more prudent to just proceed with the continuation, since those letters have a little bit of confliction between them. So I think we're going to try and work out those issues in between this meeting and the April 6th meeting. So if everyone's okay with that, I think we'll look for a second to this motion to continue.
I'll second.
No, go ahead, you do it.
Okay, I'll second. I'm not voting on it, but
Okay, so motion by Mr. Callen to continue, second by Ms. Crowitz. Can you call the roll, please? I'm sorry, sitting on that case, this case is going to be our three regular members and Mr. Smith and Mr. Wooten.
Okay. To continue to April 6th, Mr. Smith,
Yes, to continue.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes, to continue.
Mrs. Curley,
Yes, to continue.
Mr. Callen,
Yes, to continue.
Mr. Wood.
Yes, to continue.
Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Moore. We'll see you April 6th.
Thank you very much for your time, members.
Okay, good night. Our next case is 0 Linwood Road. This is case number 9966. And this is to petitioners Gary Frenari, trustee, by his attorney Sam Vitale, to vary the provisions of the City of Lynn zone ordinance to allow construction of a two-family dwelling on a lot containing 10,356 square feet, less than the required area, and frontage of 105 feet in the R2 General Residence District. Attorney Vitale.
Yes.
Do you want to take it, Pat?
Mr. Chairman,
Sam, do you want to take it?
can you hear me, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, we can. A little muddled, but yes.
I have been informed that there was a concern on the part of an abutter with respect to the construction of a dwelling on this lot. I believe that that is a legitimate concern and one that ought to be addressed. I forwarded to the clerk and addressed a letter to you asking that we could have the matter continued in order that we could get a professional evaluation by a structural engineer while I may be familiar with the construction technique that's going to be done, which is to be doing no blasting but chipping and closer to the Linwood Road side, I do think that the concerns raised are serious enough that it would be beneficial to the members, to the abutter, and for all concerned, to have the opinion of a structural engineer whether the expressed concerns are well-founded. I might say as an aside, Mr. Chairman, I've been getting up and down because I'm doing the Conservation Commission simultaneously in the next room. There's a conflict between their schedule and yours, and so I want to explain to the members why you may see me appearing and disappearing. But as to this matter, once I was informed of what the concern was, I spoke with Mr. Finari, who's here with me, and he's agreed to retain the services of a structural engineer, and rather than have people guess as to what an impact may or may not be, we'll get an evaluation by a professional that we'll share with everyone.
Okay, so you want to present? And excuse me, just a little housekeeping here. Ms. Crowitz and Mr. Makua, would you both sit on this case, please?
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Sarah, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to continue, Sam, you're expert there. Sam, you going to present something?
I did submit the letter, which I saw up on the screen, and that once I have, since I learned of this, I think 2 days ago, I'm in the process of retaining the structural engineer, and I'll get the report and then submit it.
Okay, I thought you said you had him with you. I'm sorry.
No, I just learned of this, and I think I sent the letter yesterday when I learned of it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So you want to continue, you're saying you'd like to continue until we hear
Right.
from the structural engineer?
That's correct. That's what I believe my letter that I can see on the screen is saying. I have it in front of me. And I summarized it, I think, relatively well in terms of the need to get a professional evaluation.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your letter from today, Sam. Is that right? This letter
Yes.
on the screen now?
That
I can't
is
see
my
the
letter.
date on it. Is there a date on that? Okay, yes, right, yeah. So, do I need to read this? I should probably read the letter in opposition, or if there's any other letters. I'll read this quickly then. This is from Attorney Vitale. I was going to read that, so thank you. Would I represent Gary Finari, trustee, Urban Best Realty Trust, petitioner in the above entitled matter? It was recently brought to our attention that an abutter has expressed concern about the excavation and construction of the lot, specifically the stability of ledge that encompasses the site and a nearby parcel. Petitioner wishes to properly address these concerns, and as his plan does not call for any blasting, and any site work done will be in close proximity to Linwood Road for construction of any dwelling. Accordingly, the petitioner will be guided by the report of a structural engineer and will share the same with the board members and abutters. To do so, a request is made that the matter be continued to the next board meeting, so the results of the professional evaluation may be considered. Thank you, Attorney Sam Vitale. Do we have are there any other letters in support? Mary, were there any other letters in support?
No, hold on 1 second. I gave them all to Son.
I didn't see any
Just a
letter.
letter of opposition from John Volo, if you want to read that.
I was just going through the support for this.
No, there's no other letter of support.
Okay. I feel like I should read the letter in opposition, and then we can but you know. Okay, so here's this is a letter in opposition from an abutter, John and Mary Volo. We are writing to express our opposition to a two-family dwelling on parcel 055216111. We are the abutters of the property and are concerned with the excavation and construction necessary to erect a two-family dwelling on this. It's covered up by on this property will impact our property. Our property at 0 Gayron Way, which is above the subject property, shares the massive ledge that is prominent in this area And the theory is that any disturbance to the area will have a negative effect on the stability of the ledge. Unfortunately, due to a previous engagement, we are unable to participate in the Tuesday hearing. So I hope the board will consider our concerns and deny the petition. Thank you, Mary Volo, 135 Bellevue Road. John and Mary Volo. Lynn. Okay, so, we have the attorneys asking us to continue. Can I get a motion to continue this?
I move that we continue this case till April 6th, so they can provide the information from the structural engineer.
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
When they come back on April 6th, are they going to have something look the inside of this duplex and how many bedrooms and what it's going to look like?
Yes.
We don't have
we
now.
Provided a large set of plans, which I don't know that they downloaded onto a stick, but
They're on the stick.
Unit. The photographs that you showed are the home a duplex 2 houses over. It would be comparable to that, but I see now on the screen the drawing with respect to the proposed dwelling and its elevations. But yeah, if you want, we'll have a floor plan, but it will be a 2-bedroom unit, much like the one that is 2 doors down.
Okay, I only asked because we never received that in our packet. That's why I asked.
Would it be possible to get some kind of a topographical drawing that would show the elevation and how much?
I think I could ask the surveyor that, or I could ask the engineer, but there's no question that it is a strange shaped lot that is large and is with respect to the soil condition. As you saw, I think on one of the pictures, a large section is of the lot has a ledge on it, but obviously the placement of the house, if you look at the plan that was submitted, that was drawn by Mr. Reed, is in close proximity to Linwood to avoid having to deal with much of that ledge. And as I pointed out, with respect to the lot, it exceeds the current lot size requirements for a single-family dwelling, which could be constructed as a matter of right. But serious concerns were raised about the impact on that ledge. And I'm not a professional structural engineer, and I think we would be benefited, all of us, including the petitioner, to have an evaluation by someone who's trained in that field.
Agreed. So we have a motion to continue. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
To continue. Oh, sorry.
Okay, was that Mr. Smith with a second? Okay, so we had a motion from Ms. Krawitz and a second from Mr. Smith. Can I call the roll, Mary?
Who's on this case?
I'm sorry. Who
That wasn't a second from me, Mr. Chairman.
It was me.
It was Makowa. Yep, I thought it was Flurry.
Okay. Yeah, so a motion from Mr. Krawitz to continue and a second from Mr. Makua. Can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Krawitz?
Agree to postpone.
Continue to April 6th?
Yes, continue. Thank you.
Mr. McQuarrie?
Yes, to continue.
Mrs. Curley?
Yes, to continue.
Mr. Callen?
Yes, to continue.
Mr. Wood?
Yes, to continue. Okay.
Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question? Where is 0 or O Linwood? I can't find it. Is it a real address?
It's next to 9 Linwood.
Is it next to 9? Okay, thank you.
Right a little bit. Slide to the like towards 2 o'clock on that where the red dot is.
Okay, so it's over here. Okay, sorry.
It's that big boulder.
I see it.
That space there.
That's it.
That's right here.
It'll be in front. It'll be in the front.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It would be towards the Linwood side. You see the ledges at the rear.
Yeah.
Heading over to the other street that's adjoining.
But that's the area, that grassy area down there where the bulk of it would be. That's why I'd like to see a topographical map to see how much of that ledge they'd have to
clear. What are they going to have to do there? That's a lot of work.
Reminds you of those houses on Dungeon Ave. I think it is right up against the rock down there.
Mr. Chairman, do we have any further business?
We do. We have one more case. You need to excuse yourself, Mr. Callen?
No, I don't.
All right. Okay, so
Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead, all right. So let's continue to case 9967. 321 Essex Street. Petitioner Tina Siphon by her attorney Sam Vitale. This is a petition to vary the provisions of the City of Lynn zone ordinance to allow the addition of a residential unit on the first floor of a pre-existing non-conforming mixed-use structure, apartments and retail space on a 9,766 square foot lot in the business district, with off-street parking having less than the required setback. Sam, do you want to present?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. With me is Saneng Chair. He, his mother, his sister reside and developed this property with the assistance of the Board of Appeals in 2002. In 2002, the board approved a petition to allow in the business district the construction of a 2-unit apartment and retail space on a lot having 9,677 square feet, off-street parking having less than the required setbacks from the property lines. That was case number 8826 for the property at 321 Essex Street. It was approved unanimously by the Board of Appeals. Subsequent to that, a building permit was obtained. The building was constructed. The building now does contain a retail portion, and it has on the second floor 2 apartments, one of which is occupied by the petitioner and her family. My friend Sam here is an active member of the military. He went to the VA to get a loan, and the question was whether the VA would provide a loan with respect to a property that had a mixed use. Originally, we thought that the answer would be negative and that it could only be all residential. As you know, it's the business district, so the non-conforming use that we were seeking to extend was the residential portion. The good news is that the VA said that they would approve a loan with a portion of the property being commercial, namely the existing nail salon. And so the desire is to essentially put at the rear and adjoining the nail salon the identical unit that is above on the second floor, which is a 2-bedroom unit, and to construct that on the first floor where the nail salon occupies some of the space. Previously, the board had approved parking not in conformance with the parking setback. The addition of another residential unit would require a parking plan, which I did not see in the application or the petition in 2002. And so we did a parking plan that not only affords parking for the 3 proposed residential units, but also for the nail salon. As you know, the nail salon is not 24/7, it's not 7 days a week. Currently, if you've been to the space, the petitioners were parking, I can barely see on that plan, but I think it's in spaces 9. They were parking in spaces 9 and 10 adjoining the building and at the rear of the building. The plan we have provides sufficient parking and access to the rear of the structure, which is a strangely shaped lot and structure. I wish I could remember my geometry to characterize whether that's I think it's like an oblong, but a trapezoid. Well, that's Sam says maybe it's a trapezoid. I don't know. But in any event, the building tracks the odd-shaped lot. They were using parking, as I indicated, which would be closer to the what I call the top or the opposite of the Essex Street side. As you know, the building sort of sits between Sheridan and Mount Pleasant. And what we propose is essentially parking at the front with access to the rear. And we had submitted a parking plan, which I see up on the screen, that reflects what we think is more than the required parking for the combination of the uses. It does still have the benefit of the relief granted in 2002 because it shows spaces along the left side 3 feet from the property line as opposed to 5, and likewise on the right-hand side 3 feet from the property line as opposed to 5. That relief has already been granted by the board previously. So what really is before you is the addition of another residential unit. And Sam's here with me, and I don't know, maybe you can hold up. He lives there, as I say, with his mother and sister when he's not on active duty. How many years into you? 18. He has 18 years in. He's looking to get that pension in 2 years, but this would be his home. He's looking to refinance with the VA. He did this sketch. Maybe you can hold that up there for him at some point. But essentially what I tried to do, building permit 49, issued in June of 2002 or 3, I believe, has a plan, but they have been unable to produce for me yet the plan that accompanied the building permit that allowed the building to be constructed with a retail portion and with the residential portions. But it is the intention of the petitioner and his mother and sister to, I think, move to the first floor and occupy that unit, or yeah, okay. So Sam said they do that, which would then take the existing available unit on the second floor and make it available for rental. The standards with respect to the expansion of a non-conforming use are really two. The first is, and what we propose is to do substantially the same use in substantially the same manner. You've heard me say this before. The difference between 2 units and 3 is a difference of degree. It's not an essential difference. So the non-conforming use is residential. We're increasing it by volume to be from 2 to 3. And that portion of our zone ordinance, which tracks the state statute 48.6, says that if you expand either a building, and we're not expanding the building, or if you expand a use, we are expanding the non-conforming use. To do so, it must be in conformance with the current parking requirement. And that's why we submitted the parking plan. As I see in that photograph, you'll see one vehicle was parked as we proposed at an angle with respect to the lot. You do see there's an entrance off the street and allows access to the rear. As I indicated right now, the residential members are generally parking at the rear. And I don't believe there'd be a conflict between the residents and the patrons of the nail salon. And it's a 9,000 square foot or plus lot. And I don't see that it's had any problem since the board approved its mixed use back, some 18 years ago. And so what we're hopeful for is to get approval that would then allow us to proceed, or Sam to proceed, to get a VA loan. And as I indicated, this is owner-occupied property. It has been since the board's prior approval. It will continue to be so because the family's going to get the benefit of the VA loan that Sam will qualify for. And what we seek is approval essentially to add an identical unit on the first floor to the one that was built on the second floor. And Sam and I are here and be glad to answer any questions any member may have.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. Do we ever see a new design of the interior of the new proposal? I'd like to see an existing and a new design of what's going on inside. So right now there's 2 apartments on the second floor, Sam?
There are 2 apartments on the second floor, correct.
Okay. And what is the square footage of the building per floor?
Staircase.
Of the staircase?
Yeah.
The square footage of the staircase.
Tell them, not me.
I'm not sure what the square footage of the staircase is.
No, just the interior, just dimensions of the building.
Oh, he's asking about the stairs.
How many square feet altogether in the building?
Oh, these the porches?
Look at the screen here.
How many square feet in the building?
I'm not sure.
Well, we need to know that.
Okay.
Take a look at this. He's asking about this staircase. Yeah, I don't know what those dimensions are. Are they connected or not?
Yes.
They are connected. Then they go up to the second floor, as I understand it?
Yes.
So you could come in and enter and go to the nail salon, or you could come in and enter and go up to the second floor.
I'm not concerned about the stairs, Sam. I want to know what the area of the building is.
The area?
The square footage of the building.
Oh, the total square footage? Well, let me look and tell you what the assessors say. They'd say, if you give me a moment, that the square footage of the building is gross area. On the sketch, they're showing 3,852. They show a basement, a second floor, and a first floor. And they describe the basement. Essentially, it's the same thing stacked. It's like 1,000. I gotta put my glasses on.
926.
Yeah, it's 1,926 on each floor.
926 on each floor?
Yeah. And the deck is 146 square feet.
Okay, so, and how much square footage will there be in the business when you're done with this?
We didn't hear that.
How many square feet in the business? Because I'm trying to determine the amount of parking spaces you need. I mean,
What square foot is the business?
Oh, the retail store?
You need 5 parking spaces.
Retail store is about 1,000. We allocated one space for every 300 gross square feet. I think we accounted for 4 spaces for the store and 5 spaces for the restaurant, for the residents. That's 9, and I think we've got a plan that shows 10.
Yeah. Okay, so you're good with that. I still want to see an interior floor plan.
Need to see floor plan.
You know, how big the apartment's going to be downstairs. And so, I mean, generally, all you want to do is add another unit to this. How many bedrooms are they going to be all together? How many?
2 bedrooms. The ones on the second floor that were approved previously are 2 bedrooms. This would be 2 bedrooms. It'd be essentially the identical unit that's above it on the second floor.
So we're going from 4 bedrooms to 6 bedrooms.
So they want to continue the meeting.
But isn't the second floor the entire apartment?
No, the second floor is as approved by the Board of Appeals, 2 apartments.
2, I'm sorry, 2 apartments. So what is the square footage of this new apartment?
The
Just that
same as one of the ones on the second floor. So approximately, each floor is 1,900 square feet. The units are approximately 850, 900 feet.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd say, I agree with you. There should be a layout of the floor plan of this. And basically, I don't see it I see it as probably something good, but I have to see the layout. And, to see where it sits on the first floor.
And can you tell me where the 2 means of egress are?
Right.
2 means of egress.
The existing means of egress
Yeah, so one here.
there's one on the left and one on the right, I believe. I've got the big plan. I don't know whether you have it, but if you look
No,
at
I
the
don't
plan,
have it.
let me hold this up in front of you. I'm gonna have Sam show you on the big plan that we have here, where I submitted this plan, and he can point to essentially one is on the left and the right.
No, I can't see that from here.
Can't see that either.
Well, if you bring it up on the screen, we can point to it directly. So looking at that, Sam, describe to them where it is.
Yep.
So on the left and right, you'll see 2 side structures. One is a handicap or wheelchair ramp.
That's the one to the left, that structure that is open closest to the Mount Pleasant Street side.
And then on the Sheridan side, there's another porch that's also an egress point.
On the Sheridan Street side, there's another exit, as well as the one at the front.
Well, I see that one they just pointed to. And where's the other one for the new apartment? I see one.
So that L and the one with the arrow are the 2 egress points.
So where the two arrows are would be where the exit would be for the first floor.
So the second floor
When
has,
the building was constructed, it was constructed with additional space for retail. So why there is a handicap ramp, you don't need that handicap ramp as a requirement for an individual residence. The handicap, or for a 2-unit apartment, the handicap ramp was built to accommodate the retail space for patrons of whatever retail space was there. When the board approved it, it didn't define what the retail space is. In fact, it's a nail salon. So to the left, Mount Pleasant Street side, there is a handicap ramp. That is one means of entrance and egress. And to the right on the Sheridan Street side, there is another.
so do you have to go through the nail salon to get to one of them?
No, is what Sam
They're
tells
both
me.
independent.
They're independent of each other.
Thank you.
Were there any, letters or testimony?
Yes, there was.
In favor?
Yes. Son, do you have that one?
I did not.
Oh, this is from Calvin Anderson, yep.
Oh,
Okay.
there's a letter, I guess, that I can see up on the screen of someone in support.
Yes, this is from Calvin Anderson, 12 Concord Street, he lives at,
Continue that to the next meeting.
to the ZBA. After viewing the proposed site, I'm supporting the effort to return this previously adapted commercial property to residential. The owner is encouraged to improve and maintain the frontage with appropriate replacement of the plate glass window facade, some landscaping to the dedicated parking area, and maintain daily curb appeal and responsibilities to litter and weeds and snow ordinances already on the city's books. Thank you, Calvin Anderson. I think I have the impression from reading this letter that he thinks it's going to be turned to completely residential. I'm not sure, but does anyone else think that? From that letter?
Yeah.
Well, I think he said the replacement of the plate glass. I think the plate glass is at the
I'm
main.
supporting the effort to return this previously adapted commercial property to residential. So we're not returning it to residential. It's
No, we're adding to the residential.
yeah, right. So I don't know how that applies, but okay. So does anyone else? Is there anyone that wants to call in and speak in favor of this proposal? But I guess we'll give them 2 minutes and see, just make sure, give anyone an opportunity. So I'll put a time on that, and we'll wait a couple minutes to see if anyone wants to call in support of this proposal.
Mr. Wood, some housekeeping on this?
Yes, thank you. So this would be Mr. Smith and Mr. Wooten. Would you both please sit in on this one? Danye, you with me on that?
Yes.
Sounds good.
And son?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're not getting any further activity and support, so hearing none, I'll close the hearing. For those in favor of the petition, open it for anyone in opposition. If there's anyone in opposition of this hearing, would you please call in now? Anyone in opposition, please call in now. We'll wait a couple minutes for anyone in opposition to call in. Okay, hearing no opposition to the proposal, what is the wish of the board? Does anyone have any more questions?
Motion to continue for a first floor layout and showing a primary and secondary means of egress.
And I'd like to add to that, I'd just like to see the inside dimensions of the rooms, the bathrooms, the kitchen, and so forth. I'd like to see the whole building, frankly.
And we show it in the layout of the first floor.
Yeah, I'd like, okay, first floor. Just can we get a second on that?
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Callen, second by Mrs. Curley to continue till we have a more comprehensive, till we have a schematic for the first floor. Can you call the roll, Mary?
Yes, to continue to April 6th. Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Wooten,
Yes, to continue.
Mrs. Curley to continue to April 6th.
Yes.
Mr. Callen to continue to April 6th.
Yes, to continue.
And Mr. Wood to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And could I ask, Mary, can you just send me the specifics so that my friend Sam here can follow up on what the board wanted?
Yes, Sam. Also, I need, I never received that second plan that you had showed us.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's all of our business tonight.
Motion to adjourn.
Thanks, Mr. Callen. A second on that?
Step out.
Second? I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone.
Aye.
We'll see everyone April 6th.
Matt, have a good conversation, guys.
We're going to